All righty, welcome back to the Are You Strong show. I can't wait for you to meet this young lady on the show tonight. Wait to hear her background, where she was, where she is, and where she's going. But I wrote down a couple of things off of her bio and so many different places. She has so many cool things. But the first thing I want to write down or I wrote down is she's a dynamic speaker, and that is a lot of what she's doing today. But a former college basketball player at two powerhouse programs, Duke and UConn. I don't think
Woo-hoo.
it doesn't get better than that, right? Um, but she had, faced a tough injury, in her career, which shifted her focus, and she ended up getting her MBA from Vanderbilt, again another really good school, and then spent some time in the public education system,
Yeah.
working with young kids, and then transitioned into the corporate world. For almost 5 years in a leadership role with Microsoft. Want to touch on that a little bit? That has to be pretty cool. Um, but now, she's taken her journey and she's coaching executives, guiding student athletes, delivering high impact keynote speeches, and she helps people unlock their strengths and redefine success on their own terms. Welcome to the show, Britt Hunter.
Hi. Thank you.
I am excited to have you on. I know you and I spoke probably about a month or so ago about all the things you're doing, and I have a ton of questions to ask you tonight. But
Let's do it.
before I do that, why don't you just tell the audience just a little bit about yourself, and we'll kind of roll from there.
Yeah, I am a candid storyteller. Period. Full stop. I'm an open book all the time. I have always been this way. And I find that you know, it resonates with my audience because I have such an accomplished background, but because I'm just so candid about everything, I think it like softens the room. So
Mm.
I am a teacher at heart for life. But I'm just a candid storyteller. Like that's probably all you need to know. I'm also a little bit of a clown. So there's that.
So you like to have fun.
Absolutely.
Yep, yep, good. So there's so many places, so many things we can talk about. I want to kind of talk about where have you been?
Yeah.
I want to kind of talk about where you are, and I want to kind of talk about like where you going,
Yeah.
So if let's go backwards in time.
Okay.
This whole podcast is all about athletes and their journey, and the athletes today, Britt, it's just a crazy world, let's go backwards to you're from Ohio, right?
OH.
Yep. You're from Io,
Thank you.
right? And recruiting to Duke basketball, UConn basketball. I can't even imagine the pressure that's like coming out of high school. Love to
Yeah.
talk about that, how you made those choices, and then what it was like when you got there, and we'll kind of roll a little bit from there.
Yeah. Where to begin? Where to begin? Well, here's what I'll say. I think I need to ground people in who I was in high school. Um, I played basketball because I was tall. And my first goal was to go to Ohio Northern, home of the polar bears.
Mm.
That was it. I was
I don't
just
think I ever heard of that school.
there you go. That the goal was to go to college for 4 years. That was the goal. There was no, I didn't know that they were ranking players at all. I found out they were ranking players the same day I found out that I was the number one player in the country. That's how far removed like
Yeah,
the accolades and all that stuff was for me.
right.
I played basketball to go to college. I worked at it all the time because I had nothing else to do. I got really good at it. I learned that I was very disciplined as a person. I'm very competitive and I'm very disciplined. That's what I learned about myself. But I loved the experience that basketball provided. I cannot say that I loved basketball. I loved that I got to be around a team of people. They were a whole different friend group outside of school, outside of anything else. And
Yeah.
I got to travel with AAU,
Mm.
right? This was the best part of playing basketball was the people,
Yeah.
um,
The camaraderie, the
the
team.
camaraderie.
Yeah.
What I did not like about basketball was the pressure that there was to be competitive. Like I'm competitive in general. Like I host game nights. I don't play around. Like
Yeah.
I'm coming for your neck in game
Yeah.
night. I'm a competitive person,
Yeah.
but not to the extent that people wanted me to be.
Right.
So I don't talk trash on the court. There's no need. I'm gonna let my game speak for itself. Like
Yep.
there's nothing for me to talk about. But if you were to come up to me in high school and say, "Oh, you killed him. How much you have last night?" I couldn't tell you. I don't know. It's not something I'm tracking. It's what
You
everyone
knew
else
you
is
had a good
tracking.
game though.
I had a good game. We
Yeah.
won. I don't.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Oh, you had 27 and 13. Did I?" This is how, and I think it was frustrating for me because I did not want people to see basketball first,
Yeah.
but everyone was frustrated, I think, or kind of confused that I wasn't leaning more into the
Yeah.
basketball identity. But that's
Well,
just not who I am.
yeah. What was it like to be the number one recruit in the country? Like
It was
how do you
strange.
manage that as an 18-year-old girl?
17,
17, even
just to
younger.
be clear, 17.
Okay.
Um, it happened really quickly. It happened in a matter of 5 years of playing basketball. Like I went from not playing basketball to becoming the number one player in 5 years, a very short amount of time. I wasn't mature enough to like really understand the magnitude.
Yeah.
I didn't really like all the attention because all the attention meant that I couldn't be my goofy self all the time. It meant I had to carry myself a certain way. And I kind of hated that. Now it's a little bit different.
Like you
Now,
were wearing a mask.
yeah, like
Yeah.
constantly, like I can't be seen doing this or that like my peers. And
Yeah.
it was helpful to stay the course, but I was just always constantly fighting like my identity had to be basketball, but that basketball is not my identity. And
Yeah.
now today, I think it's great that athletes get to be two things, three
Yeah.
things. Before it was like I had to look and behave a certain way as a
Yeah.
basketball player, and I really resented it. I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I got to go everywhere. I got invited to Nike camp. I got invited to McDonald's All American. I got free stuff. I got a
It's all
Rick
about the
Offense
gear.
jersey. I got trophy. Like I got
Yeah.
stuff. So that was
Yeah.
fun. All the other stuff, I was like, I don't care for it. I don't need it.
Right. All right. So you ended up at Duke first. How did
Yes.
that decision come about? What was it like showing up as a freshman? I mean, Duke basketball and UConn basketball, it's like the two of the best ever.
Yeah.
And you're out there as a young woman. What's it like as a freshman walking into that?
Um, Duke is an amazing school.
Yeah.
What an amazing culture. There's about 5,000 students, a very small school. Um, I have friends from Duke today, and I was only there for a year.
Mhm.
I have more regular student friends from Duke than I do regular student friends from UConn.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's such a small school. What an amazing, I would liken it to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt has an amazing alumni network. They
Yeah.
have that like very strong pride in their school.
And they're great academic schools, both of them.
It's hard.
Yeah.
They're both work hard, play hard
Yeah.
schools. Um, Duke is just a beautiful space. I mean, it's
Mhm.
it's amazing. What an amazing just everything. However, I did not want to go to Duke. My mother made me go to Duke. So that's
Mm.
a people always say, well, why did you transfer to UConn? Because that's where I wanted to go first. But 17, like I said, not super mature, didn't have a voice, didn't know how to like, you know, I just didn't really know how to defend or express myself. So I just did what everybody told me to do, which works out when you're trying to be a disciplined human. It doesn't work out when you need to advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
So, not my first choice. Was not interested in going to Duke at all. I just wanted to go to UConn. I never wanted to be coached by a female. Actually,
Now,
you
why
know,
not? Any reason for that or?
I think I liked that my male coaches, my high school coach and my AAU coach were men, and they were just no nonsense.
Mm.
There wasn't a lot of emotion in anything. It was like I said what I said. I can
Yeah.
work with that. I think my mom kind of made me feel like, oh, women are going to be like this, like a little too naggy, a little too emotional, a little too picking apart other things that aren't
Yeah.
related to the thing right here. Men tended to be a little bit more do this, and if you're not, get off the court.
To the point. Yeah.
Get it together or keep it moving. I
Yeah.
can work with that. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
It's anything else feels petty and it's exhausting and it I'll shut down.
Yeah.
So I wanted a male, and Geno was that very much that way. Maybe too much to a fault, but
Yeah.
when I sat across from Geno, he was the only coach on all my visits that did not gas me up. Every other coach was like, we're going to give you 44. You're going to start. You're going to have all the playing time. You're going
Yeah.
to be an All-American, whatever you want to do. Every single coach. Geno was the only person who looked me in the eye and was like, if you come here and you suck and don't work hard, you're not going to see the floor. I get the number one player every year. This is not new. You're not
Yeah.
special. So
Yeah.
let me know if you want to come.
So how did Duke handle letting you go? Like that must have been difficult for them.
I don't think so. I think
No?
it was no, and I talk to students about this a lot. I had developed a lateness habit really early on. I don't know where it came from, but I learned very quickly I have many talents, and one of them is being late.
Now does Gino put up with that?
Absolutely not. And I wasn't late at UConn. No, no, no.
Yeah.
No, no, no. I don't know what it. I honestly, to this day, don't know what it was. I think it's some of it is a little bit of like you rise to the expectations people have for you,
Yeah.
and the bar was extremely high at UConn for every little thing. They're
Yeah.
meticulous. They don't play.
Yeah.
Duke, not that it wasn't high, it just wasn't the same. And I didn't have maturity to just like do the right thing all the time
Yeah.
and handle myself. So
Yeah.
um I think it was like a mutually like it's for the best.
Yeah. Okay. Now how receptive were the girls at UConn bringing you in as a sophomore?
They were like, why the hell weren't you here last year?
Mm,
Because they also won it last year. They're like, you missed out.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it wasn't my choice, guys, but I'm here now. They were awesome. They are they were the sole reason I wanted to go to UConn.
Yeah.
That team, any other team I went to, they had an itinerary, right? Anywhere you go, there's an itinerary. And the itinerary tells you, here's what you do, here's what your parents do. And on the itinerary, it'll say, the girls are going to meet you here, the girls are going to take you to lunch, then you have a football game, and then we have this. There was no, you can give me an itinerary at UConn, they didn't need one because the girls already hung out together.
Yeah.
They're already like this, like naturally. And
Yeah.
you don't have to like everybody, but it didn't matter. It's about we're a
Respect.
family. It's
Yeah.
about respect and it's about a
Yeah.
family. And there was
Yeah.
no BS.
Yeah.
And that for me was like, this is what I want. If I went to other schools, I could sense a sense of jealousy because maybe the freshman there was the number one player. And now here comes another number one player coming in. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, it was already a feeling of like, we already have that position filled. This is
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
I never got that sense at UConn. Never.
So what was your relationship like? Was it tight with Gino? Were you tighter with the assistants? Was he the kind of guy that you can go into his office and sit down and chat with him? What was that
Not
like?
I,
No?
not me. I think Gino was the coach that I wanted, but was not the coach that I needed by the time I got hurt.
Mm,
By the time I got hurt, I was like mentally, I just was a shadow of myself as a player. And because I wasn't producing, I lost a lot of confidence.
yeah.
Um, and when you're not producing, you don't get away with all the dumb stuff.
No.
You can't you can be goofy if you're scoring 20.
Yeah.
Don't be goofy. And we you're like, one for
Yeah.
five. Don't
No.
and I get it, but I think I wasn't prepared to not be great anymore.
Yeah. So talk about your injury. What happened? How did it affect you? What was the mental side like?
Yeah, it was tough. I had never been hurt before. So I kind of like was like, okay, I'm hurt. I have surgery and come back. Uh, the injury got worse throughout the season. I was rushed back, mostly because they were like, you don't know the place. So you got to come back earlier before you forget them all. I'm like, well, there's 35 out of bounds plays. What are we doing?
Yeah.
That was my attitude about it. Um, and I also like wasn't used to like studying the game. I didn't really, it just wasn't something that I wanted to do. I just wanted to play. But now that I'm hurt and I'm like not really moving the same way, like my game is predicated on outworking you. I'm going to outwork you for a position. I'm going to outrun you down the floor. I'm going to out rebound you. I'm going to box you out like crazy.
So you were physical.
I'm going to pin you and get the layup, but I'm also athletic. So I'm going to just, my footwork was exceptional. I could anticipate a lot. I could catch anything. I was a very active player. Once that was taken away, oof, that requires a different skill.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to develop it. I probably didn't develop it to my 5th year of college, quite frankly. I think it took me 2 years to like stop fighting that I'm not going to be that player anymore. And I have to figure out a different way to play.
Yeah.
So the injury, I think I was in denial about how bad it was for about a year.
And was that knees, hips? What was it?
That was my right knee. I blew my right knee out 3rd game of the season of my freshman year.
Ugh.
Yeah. I had scored 32 points in an exhibition game at Duke. I had scored 16-8 on my debut game on TV. Like I was doing what I needed to do. Blew
Yeah.
my knee out on national TV, and it just was never, I was just never the same. I got wheeled out of my 3rd surgery at Duke, end of the year, and they said, okay, here's the deal. You're going to need an osteotomy. And if you don't get an osteotomy, you probably won't walk, but you for sure won't play basketball. And I was like, well, what's an osteotomy?
Yeah.
We're going to put a plate in your thigh. So the whole right side of my knee, all the cartilage, tendons, everything was like gone. We're going to put a plate in your thigh bone and shift the weight over to the inside of your knee. And you're going to have to be out for a year. And for about 3 months, you're not going to be able to walk because you can't put weight on the knee and the plate. You have to let it take. So we're going to have to put a machine on your leg and make it move your leg so your
Oh my
leg doesn't
God.
completely atrophy. And I was like, what are we talking about? You would
Yeah.
have thought I had a car crash.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you hear this at 18.
Yeah.
I played basketball for 5 years and I become the number one player. And 3 games in, it's pretty much like, over. You
Yeah.
know,
You're done.
I go to UConn and they say, we're not going to do an osteotomy. We're going to give you a cadaver meniscus. So a 40-year-old man got into a motorcycle accident, died. I got his meniscus. They put it in. They were like, listen, I'm not even sure you're going to play basketball, but I for sure know you shouldn't play basketball on this. Do you know, Jeff? I sat out for a year, came back, and it's Midnight Madness, the year that I come back. And we have a relay race. So excited. I sit on a bouncy ball, and we're supposed to bouncy ball our way across half
Yeah.
court line. I get about 5 bounces in, fall off the ball, tear my meniscus.
Oh my God.
This was my life now. So the injury was like this. It was a mental drag for me. I'm gonna be honest, but I will
Yeah.
say this: after doing that, I can do anything.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is a piece of cake, and
Yeah.
entrepreneurship is hard, but it is a piece of cake after dealing with that for 5 years.
Right. So did you come back and play anymore, or were you just done? You just couldn't do it?
I could play. I was only allowed to play, practice, or do anything for 15 minutes at a time. So
Wow.
I was on a stopwatch. So in practice, if they subbed me in, the trainer had a stopwatch. And
15 minutes.
if I went into a game, I could only play for 15 minutes a game. And so you can imagine how hard that is to produce.
Yeah. It takes you 15 minutes to get warmed up.
But I got a lot of touches because I
Yeah.
still have the timing, I still have the IQ, but Jeff, I don't know what the statistics are. I probably need to look them up. I was probably 87% from the floor in high school.
Wow.
By the time after the knee injury, I was probably at like 55%. I mean, I made hardly any of the layups. It was the mechanics are off. These are all
Yeah.
things that like
And was it painful too, or just your mechanics were screwed up?
it was both. So
Yeah.
sometimes my knee would just be swollen and I couldn't
Yeah.
play. I didn't play my senior night. My knee was
Yeah.
swollen. I had multiple cortisone injections. I developed plantar fasciitis.
My God. Now, were
It
those
was just
injections painful?
Jeff, when I tell you I was screaming,
I bet.
I was scream, and
Yeah.
I didn't care. It screamed. They use the freezing spray. Have you ever seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah, they give you the freezing spray. So you're good for the first like half inch of the needle, but it's got to go all the way in there.
Oh yeah.
And it's time to scream. It is what it is. And then by the
Yeah.
time they're pushing the cortisone in, oh, it's
Yeah.
burning. I mean, it was like piecemeal. We were piecing my knee together just to like suck,
Yeah.
you know?
But you say just to suck, but you were probably better than 90% of the girls in the country anyway, even when you think you sucked.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was just, yeah,
You
probably.
sucked compared to you,
Exactly.
right? Which is tough to deal with. So how do you handle the mental side of that? I mean, there's so many kids out there now that are dealing with it, right? And not that many can overcome the mental side. That's tougher than the physical sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do it very well. So I had a suicide attempt my freshman year.
Mm.
Um, it was just tough. I was exhausted thinking every day about what is happening. Why is it like this? I can't solve this. I can't like, I can't work out more to fix it. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do the very thing that got me to this position. Right.
Yeah.
And I would always forget. It was so crazy. Every like 90 days, I'd be like, okay. This is what we're going to do. We're going to just start going to the gym. And then, oh, wait, I can't go to the gym. I can't work out
Yeah.
because my knee is like barely here.
Right.
And I was just so exhausted
Yeah.
that I just wanted to like be done with it. And I remember waking up the morning after the attempt and being pissed that I was awake, like
Mm.
pissed. And that's when I was kind of like, okay, let's do something because I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so I had to tell my coach. They, of course, had to notify the school and my parent and all that. And so that became a bigger thing. And then I just kind of had this layer of embarrassment. And I didn't
Yeah.
tell any of my teammates. And I asked the coaches not to tell them because it didn't match my personality.
Yeah.
That didn't align with what they know. And I
Yeah.
didn't want to be a victim. So I left, you know.
Yeah.
When I got to UConn, I will say, I'm not going to say it got better. I think I tried to manage it more. My teammates were amazing. I think just being around them, not that my teammates at Duke weren't great. It's just a very different vibe.
Do you have any favorites, teammates?
Uh, my favorite teammate was my freshman teammate at Duke, Allison Bales. She was also my rival in high school.
All right.
So she's from Beaver Creek in Dayton, Ohio. And I went to Brookhaven in Columbus. And us together alone made up the number one recruiting class in the country our year, just with two of us. So I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Um, she was 6'7", and we were just like very sarcastic, annoying clowns. It was great.
Yeah.
She's a surgeon now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. Her mother was a surgeon. Her mom's like 6'6". She's 6'7". She's a surgeon
Jesus.
now. Her husband's 6'9". I'm like, where are you finding these
What kind of kids
people?
do they have? They must be
They're
gigantic.
huge,
Yeah.
huge.
Wow. So you must have had some really good moments at UConn too,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Can you can you put a finger on one or two? Like, man, these are like some of the greatest memories I've had there.
Well, I would tell you right now, spring weekend. And I don't even know if they do spring weekend anymore. So the women's team, I mean, we were friends with like everybody.
Yeah.
We were very much a cult in that we really only hang out with each other, but soccer team, hockey team, football team, basketball team, like track team, we were friends with everybody. And so I loved that. I loved the summertime. We had camp. This is where I actually met my best friend today. She played at Adelphi and came to work
Okay.
our summer camp at UConn, and we were co-coaches together, and we were just clowning. Camp was fun, although it was a drag. It was so exhausting. Camp was fun. Spring weekend was fun, and just my teammates. You know, I talk about Renee all the time. Renee owns the dream now, and there's just stories I can't even share about Renee because she's just She's mature now, kind of.
Yeah.
But we all have like so many stories. And if we get on the phone now and start talking about them, they're so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. My teammates made everything so much better.
Yeah.
Really.
And I love hearing you say that, because I don't like the team is everything. It's not even the games. The games are cool, the winning's fun, but the team, the locker room, the bus rides, the hotels. I say this on like every show. That you can't put a price on that, and you can't describe it. Can you? Can you really describe it?
No,
No, you can
I've
feel
never
it.
experienced anything like it since.
Yeah, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And every athlete that talks about that, the faces light up like yours is, the smiles happen, they laugh and happen, and it's just like you just start going down these memory lanes, like it's just like a movie picture just keeps going through your head,
They're
which is
funny. They're
cool.
funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
We also had a charter flight. Not every school had this, and I
yeah,
didn't know every school did have
yeah.
this. And I should know because I went to Duke, but I don't remember what we did at Duke. We probably flew commercial, but UConn we had a charter flight everywhere we went, and every time we ate nonstop. After practice, you had training tables, so you ate there. Then you got on the bus. There were snacks on the bus. You ate there. You got on a charter flight, and the flight attendants would come down with two baskets, salty
Yeah.
snacks and sweet snacks and water. You got those snacks. You would stuff them in your bag.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the hotel, it's dinner time in the hotel. I mean, we were eating nonstop. That was one of my favorite parts too.
And you were burning it up too. You guys were working like dogs. You had to
We
eat.
most of us were.
Yeah, right, right. So UConn basketball, you graduate, now you start coaching. Talk about that. Like, what motivated you to get into coaching, and what did you enjoy about that?
I did not even. I was actually going to grad school. I took the GRE 2 weeks after the Final Four. I still don't know how I did that, because I was planning to go to grad school for Dr. Bruning, and Tanya Cardoza, the assistant coach at UConn, called me and was like, I got the job at Temple and I want you to come be the assistant. And I was so confused because Tanya was the guard coach.
Yeah,
And it's not that I didn't talk to Tanya, but I probably talked to Tanya maybe 10 times my
yeah,
entire career at UConn. And I also viewed myself as just like, a disaster. This is, I'm like, why would you ask me to come? I'm a complete disaster. I'm a whole mess.
Now,
And
why would you say that? I mean, you have everything so well put together. Why do you keep looking at yourself as a disaster?
oh, Jeff, I made some interesting choices in college. I'll say that.
Okay.
I think I think for the coaches, I always felt like a sense of disappointment because I am a leader by nature, but I didn't want that title. I
Yeah,
didn't want to own it.
yeah,
So I led because people liked me and gravitated towards me, but I was also a clown. Like, this is not the leader we want to be following. We want you to follow, like, I'll give you an example. Maya's a great player, but she's not like a leader. She's not going to get people to follow her. She's going to
yeah.
perform really well and you're going to be inspired by her energy, but she's not a motivational person.
She's not
I
vocal.
Yeah, I'm a very like I draw people near me. And so that's what Tanya liked. So I saw it as, well, I've gotten in trouble a little bit and I'm not the leader y'all wanted me to be and I didn't produce. And so in my mind, I should just go over here and do something else. And she was like, no, she didn't have to tell me. I got it from the fact that she called.
She
Right.
saw that you can pull the team together.
I know how to talk to people. I
Yeah.
know how to bring them in. I'm charismatic. I can talk to anybody. I'm honest. And I have a high bar. And I think that's what they also see, right? While I'm disappointed in how things went, I still have a very high bar. And that's why I'm so
Yeah.
disappointed because I want to be up here.
Yeah.
I probably fell here, but I needed to be here. And if it wasn't here, it wasn't good enough. Right.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the bar she wanted. And what I learned was that I don't like coaching.
Now, what didn't you like about it?
Um, you know how I think it's one of those things. Just because you're a good player doesn't mean you're a good coach.
Right. Yeah.
Good coaches need to be able to take you from 0 to 1 or 1 to 2. I'm trying to figure out why you're at a 0. It doesn't make sense to me, right? And
You're
by
impatient.
0,
You're impatient.
I'm extremely impatient.
Yeah.
And by 0, I don't mean talent. I mean effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to coach effort
Right.
at all because I don't have to be coached on effort.
It
Why
should
do
be
you have to be?
automatic.
Why do you have to be coached on effort? I want to
Yeah.
coach you on skills,
Yep.
adjustments,
Yep.
and at different levels,
Desire.
you're
Yeah.
coaching effort.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, and I knew that wasn't right.
Yeah.
I was like, kids deserve to have somebody say, your effort level isn't where it needs to be. And I'm going to meet you where you're at and get you over here. I'm not there.
Yeah.
I learned it teaching, but I'd rather teach than coach.
Mm. It's similar but different,
Very different.
right? What did you like about teaching?
I think I give kids more grace in general.
Okay.
I assume the best about them first. And I assume that if they do something, it's because it's just a mistake. And I felt misunderstood a lot as a kid and in college. I felt very misunderstood. And I wanted to make sure that my students who were typically, not everyone's favorite, they don't have to be my favorite, but I want to make sure I give you a fair shot and give you the benefit of the doubt time and time again. I'm gonna still push you, but with teaching, man, it's amazing to see a kid learn a concept and apply it.
Yeah.
Wow. It is. I learned so much about my own limiting beliefs about Black and brown children.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people say like, oh, a certain group thinks Black and brown children. I'm like, no, I think Black and brown people also have limiting beliefs about Black and brown children because those limiting beliefs are put on us.
Yeah.
And then we go into a classroom and we have a lower bar and a lower expectation. But I vocalized my expectation consistently. I didn't believe it, but I vocalized it.
Yeah.
And to see them rise to that expectation was like mind blowing for me.
Yeah.
And it let me know, damn, I came in here with the wrong mindset. And it feels so good to also, what I also like is you have to find a way to get every kid to understand this. This right here. Everybody has to understand this, but all of y'all are going to learn it 8 different ways. And we're going to find what the different 8 ways are. Yep. Oh, that's fun too. That's fun.
And I'm going to guess you were probably a pretty fun teacher too.
Yeah, I was strict, but I was fun.
Were you? No. In what way were you strict?
I'm very maniacal.
All right.
There's just I sweat the small stuff. Like I see classrooms that are like completely mismanaged, and I'm like, you see, the reason he threw that chair, the chair is not the problem. The problem is when you were talking to him, he wasn't even looking at you. Yeah. That's where that started. So I was very maniacal about the smallest of things because I didn't want them to turn into bigger things, but also there's just a level of expectation that I have. The room had to be clean at all times. Things had to be done at a certain speed. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
I was just maniacal about it. But I threw a lot of parties. I threw a party for every single holiday, Jeff. It didn't matter.
That's good.
Every holiday. I kept Party City. Party City is out of business now because I'm not a teacher anymore. I kept them in business single-handedly on my teacher salary. Yeah. Teachers were sending me kids. They started leveraging my party as a reward in their classrooms. They're like, hey, Miss Hunter is having a St. Patrick's Day party. As you all know, only 5 of y'all are going. And then I would just get a flood of just random kids from different classes. And I'm like, come on in. 3 of y'all got to go from my room because 3 of y'all was acting up. 1, 2, and 3. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Come on in, kids. Come on in.
You bring them in for the reward. So
Yeah.
what motivated you to move on from teaching then? I mean, if you enjoyed it so much, you went from there to the corporate world
What school did you go to, Jeff?
for college.
Elementary school.
Oh, Jesus. I went to a Catholic grammar school, then I went to a public grammar school, then I went to a public junior high school and a public high school.
What's a grammar school?
What's in grammar school?
What's a grammar school? What does that mean?
It's like kindergarten to sixth grade.
Oh,
That's
grammar
what
is
they,
just the name. It's not like a
that's what they,
specific kind of school. They
no,
just call
that's,
it grammar
yeah,
school.
it is called grammar school.
Okay, I don't think we use that anymore, Jeff. I'm gonna bring you
Uh,
up to
that's
speed.
a
All
long
right.
time ago. Don't forget it. It's a long time ago.
I think
You
it's just
know?
elementary or middle,
Yeah.
but grammar school. Okay, check done. Um, public public education in big cities is horrible.
Is it?
It's horrible. My school was great, but that's because we had a lot of hedge fund funders. I had the
Okay.
CEO of Build-A-Bear in my classroom. I had the CEO of the New York Times in my classroom. So my classroom was a lab site room.
Yeah.
I was such a great teacher. And
Yeah.
we had a lab site school. We had such a great culture at our school. Now, mind you, 3 or 4 years prior, when I first came to that school, it was a turnaround school. We lost 22 teachers in 3 months because the school was just so chaotic and the teachers couldn't swing
Yeah.
it. And they all left on Monday, Friday, Wednesday, Sunday night. It didn't matter. And it was exhausting to have that. And it took us 2 years to rebuild trust with parents and kids. But by year 3, we were back to blue ribbon status.
Beautiful.
And it was awesome to see. And we had all this money coming in. Mind you, we shared space in a building. New York, there's a lot of shared space going on. There's not enough
Yeah.
buildings. We had a school above us and a school below us. The school above us, right? I'm going to just give you an example. The last year I taught 4th grade, I had 30 students. 3 of them had IEPs. 2 of them were holdovers. 2 of them were reading at a 2nd grade reading level when they came into my 4th grade room. Okay. 100% of that class passed both the New York State ELA and math exam. 100% of that class. I was the only 4th grade teacher to do it that year in my school.
Great.
The entire school above my classroom, the entire school, guess what percentage of those students passed both exams?
40.
18.
Oof.
18. The school above me is what most schools in New York City look like.
Yeah.
If you want to get your school kids to pass this stupid exam, by the way, like enough. I mean, we were doing test prep.
Yeah.
To know that that's the gap and to know what it takes to get them to pass, I was tired. I was like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
I hate this so much. And shout out to all the teachers that are still in education. I have I have respect for them because I did it for 7 years and people are like, I have respect for you. And I'm like, and I had to leave because it's not right.
Yeah.
We put those kids through hell and high water just to do it just to do it all over again.
Yeah.
We treat them like numbers.
Yeah.
And we under resource them. And then it's horrible. It's horrible.
I think that's a big part of the problem is the resources. They just don't have enough.
Yeah. I got Jeff, I got those kids to pass. I did not go to school for education.
Yeah.
The only reason I learned was because one, I'll tell you, there's 3 reasons. Rule number 1 in the school, don't blame kids. I don't care what is going on. You are not allowed to blame kids. You better figure it out.
Yeah.
And no one wants to hear about their broken home. Nobody wants to hear about their IEP. They better get across that finish line. So that's rule number 1. Number 2, you had to have a growth mindset.
Yeah.
So the first year I started teaching, I didn't know how to teach 2 or 3 subjects. I went out and asked other teachers on my floor and I said, can you teach my kids math and I'll go in your room and teach writing? I had to barter for that.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing and humble enough to do that. And I did that. I was like, come teach them. And then I went and watched them teach. I changed my schedule to go watch them teach so I could get better. So those 2 things. And then the third thing is we had professional development often. almost weekly, if not every week. We got out every Wednesday at 12 o'clock to do grading, testing, but we
Yep.
graded together. There was no hiding.
Yeah. Yeah.
We traded tests. You grade my test, I'm gonna grade your test,
Yep.
you know? And
Yeah.
so that does not happen in most public schools. And
Yeah.
that's the problem.
It sounds like you brought your athletic mindset to teaching.
Well, that was my leader. That was my leader's mindset. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I slide right into here. This is
Yeah.
this is my this is my type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thrived because that's the type of leader she was.
Yeah. Cool. Then Microsoft. Tell me about that. How'd you end up there? You were there like almost 5 years.
Yeah.
That must have been a cool job. What motivated you to go there? What took place there?
Jeff, I didn't know what computer science was until I got to Microsoft.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a major. I was like,
Yeah.
what is computer science? What does that even mean? Apparently, that's what you study to become an engineer. I learned that
Yeah.
at 33 years old, which is crazy. Business school, you got to pick a place, you got to pick a job. Microsoft came and recruited at Vanderbilt, and I was like, yeah, I want to go to Microsoft. It was just that simple. It wasn't
Yeah.
like a lifelong dream.
Right.
I actually missed the deadline to apply and had to apply in this whole random pool of people. And I was like, well, that's that. I'll never get into Microsoft. Ended up getting in. Um, One of my favorite questions at Microsoft was in my interview was, tell me a time you had to give somebody that was more senior than you feedback. I said, oh my God, I have so many examples, but I'll just give you one. But I like that because they were signaling we need people who are going to be candid, open, and
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is my jam right here. It's a little different now.
Yeah. So what was your role there? What did you enjoy? What was your impact that you made over there at Microsoft?
Yep. I started out in HR and then I moved over to operations in Azure. Azure is their cloud business. It is the most profitable business in the company.
Yeah.
And so that was really awesome. To see what the company values as well is very interesting. In HR, I think my favorite project was this project called Stores Reimagined. And have you ever been to a Microsoft store?
No. I don't know. The store, yes. That in the
You
malls,
have.
the ones in the mall, those
Yeah.
kind, yeah.
Yeah. Why were you in there? What did you, why did you go into the Microsoft store?
Just looking to buy a computer, or if I'm with my kids burning around the mall, just burning time walking around, looking around.
Okay, cool. There's no more Microsoft stores,
No, they're
right?
gone.
They don't exist. So when I joined Microsoft, it was during COVID, and the Microsoft stores were closed because of COVID.
Yeah.
And they realized these things don't even make us money.
Yeah.
They only had it to compete with Apple because Apple had a
A
storefront.
store. Yep.
But Microsoft really wasn't trying to sell computers out of it. They just wanted to have a storefront to do the same thing Apple was doing. It didn't make any sense. So they shut it down
Hmm.
and they had to create brand new roles. And from the onset, I said, you mean to tell me that you think that people who work in a mall are going to want to work in a corporate environment? They're like, yeah, it's a great opportunity. Da, 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 da. I was like, everybody doesn't see the world like that.
No,
And everybody doesn't want that kind of job. And
no.
honestly, when I was talking to people about it on the team, they didn't understand what I was saying. And I was like, you guys are so really far removed, I think, from like most of the world. The rest of the world does not want to work in this environment. Like
No.
they
The
just want to
corporate the
work.
corporate world is dying out. It's just different. People are different. COVID has changed the world, the way people look at things, the where they want to
Yeah.
work, how they want to work, when they want to work,
Yeah. If they want to work.
if they want to work, right? So you were there 5 years,
Yeah.
and now you're doing your own thing,
Do my own thing.
right? Talk about that. It's really cool what you're doing. The entrepreneurial world is such a big thing, but now you're out there, you're really impacting people's lives directly now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I absolutely love it. And I'm so excited for 2026. I got my first school that I'll be going to is Delaware State. Haven't fully announced it yet, but they're an HBCU. They're my first HBCU, so I'm
Yep.
so excited about that. They have a football coach, Deshaun Jackson is
Mm-hmm.
their head football coach.
Yep.
Um, they played Michael Vick's school. Who does he
Yep.
coach for? They played him recently, and they
He's
had
at
a
he's
whole
at I forget where he's at, but yeah, they played
Norfolk.
each other. Norfolk State.
Yep.
And
Went.
Michael Vick threw to Son Jackson that pass in the NFL.
Look at
That's
you.
yeah.
I did not know that. So I
Oh
guess when
yeah.
they played each other earlier in the
No,
year,
they
there was
they
a
play.
whole
Yeah. Yeah.
there was a whole like shebang around it. They brought all
Yep.
these people to campus, and I just
Yep.
think that's so awesome. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to go there and take pictures. And so I'm going to start this whole new thing in 26 where every school I visit, I'm going to go buy a pennant. I'm just going to line my house with all the pennants
All right.
because I love going to schools. I love talking to students.
Yeah.
I want to tell them all the stuff that I needed to hear
Mm.
and let them know you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
You're not going
So
to be all right
so
tomorrow or next week, but
what
you'll
are
be
you going to
fine.
do with them? What's the program all about? What kind of impact you can make on those guys and
Yeah.
girls?
So the program is Own Your Adventure,
Okay.
not to be confused with Choose Your Own Adventure, who sent me a cease and desist letter,
Really?
but that's fine. It's fine. I felt honored that they knew who I was.
Yeah, it's good. It's competition.
That's
Competition's good.
it is. So the Own Your Adventure, the premise is you're going to take ownership of your life
Mm,
by taking ownership of the choices that you make.
beautiful.
And so the workbook that I have is a choose your own adventure
And you
style
sent
book.
me the cover today,
I sent
which
you the
was
cover.
cool.
Isn't it
Yeah.
cute?
Yeah, it's nice.
Um, I want the kids to read my story and then make decisions
Mm,
throughout my story because there's a lot of crossroads that I hit, right? Do I go to this party or do I go to the gym? Do I take a job at Pepsi or do I take a job as dean of students? There were so many crossroads, and every student, every kid is going to have those crossroads. And for a while, it's going to feel like you don't have control over your life. A lot of kids will say this. Everybody's controlling me. There's so many rules. You have more control than you think.
yeah.
And it all lies in the decisions that you make.
Yeah.
And so, more than just preaching, though, every workshop that I do, yes, there's a bit of storytelling because I love storytelling, but there's always two activities that the students have to do.
Okay.
In the activities, there will always be a worksheet. There has to be something that they're working on because there's nothing worse than somebody telling you to do something and they don't tell you how.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hated it as a kid. You're talking theory. Give me something to do it with.
Give me direction.
Give me a direction, like honest
Yeah.
direction, and be honest with me about, I heard this advice. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm very candid. And one of my favorite worksheets is a accountability worksheet. So
Cool.
I'll tell the kids about my being late at Duke, right? Today, I take ownership, a lot more ownership about my injury at Duke. The reality behind that story is this. I had started a reputation of just being late. And in my mind, I'm not a locker room problem. I'm super amicable with all my teammates. I'm well liked. I work extremely hard. But I was creating this rift because I wasn't fixing the problem.
Mm,
And if you're not going to fix a problem, you're going to continually send the message that you don't care, which I didn't mean to do.
right.
But I like let the kids know we judge other people by their actions and we want people to judge us by our intentions. But that's not how life works.
No.
And so because there was this rift, they started to treat me differently. They weren't talking to me as much. I didn't feel comfortable talking to them. So when my knee started hurting, I didn't actually talk about it as much as I needed to because I didn't want to be seen as a problem anymore. And that's where all of it started, right?
Mm,
It took me a while to get to that point of like, I have to own some of this. And so giving them a worksheet that I wish I had had,
yeah.
a framework to say, okay, here's your problem, tardiness. Great. Let's make an action plan for how we're going to fix it. Who's going to help us hold us accountable? How long are we going to work through this action plan? And then what does good look like?
Look like, yeah.
You have to do that work. You have to sit down and do it. Instead, though, what do most kids do? They just kind of like feel bad and sulk and blame,
Yeah.
make excuses. That's not going to move the needle.
No.
So I want to make sure every time I do a workshop with a group of students, we are solving a problem right now.
So all of that to the kids, to the students, to the athletes, all of that is uncomfortable for them. How do you take your athletic history, background, experience, all the uncomfortness you had to deal with, and bring it into their world to coach them through their discomfort?
Yeah, I think being vulnerable from the very beginning,
Yeah.
it breaks them down right away. I've had so many adults come up to me and say, that kid over there never talks. And they talk to you.
Mm.
That kid over there, I don't know, we can't get through to them. They want to talk to you now. This kid came up and took a picture with you. I never see any energy from that kid. It's like, yeah, sometimes you need to hear it from a different person.
Yeah.
And I don't need anything from them. I don't need them to produce anything from me. You know, I'm just out here letting you know, here's the 55 different ways I messed up. Welcome to the party.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It makes them feel like they're not alone.
You're not
But
alone.
yeah, because all these people, and we talk about this in the financial world, a lot of people just think they're the only ones who have the problem, and they're not.
Yes.
And once they
Yes.
realize that you had the same kind of problems they had, and you understand them, then they're willing to talk about it.
Yep. It's just being vulnerable first. I'm
Yeah.
happy to be vulnerable first. I have no, I don't have anything to hide behind anymore.
Yeah.
I'm extremely successful in my own right. I've done so many things. I'm like, all right, Britt, we can tap out right now and be good. We're good. You could also do nothing new ever again.
Yeah.
But every time I go somewhere, I tell the kids, I'm like, I plan to be a pastry chef in a restaurant in about 10 years.
All
That's going to
right.
be my new goal. But I want them to look at it like that. Like, I want you to be excited about breaking it and then fixing it so
Yeah.
that you can move forward. Don't don't get so caught up in the setback and the mistake.
Yeah.
You did it. Welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna suck, and you're gonna be held accountable for the next 60 to 90 days, and people
Yeah.
aren't gonna like you for too much longer, and that's just what it is. However, we can move past it too,
Yeah.
and I want them to know that because my biggest setback isn't hurting my knee. My biggest setback is being in my own head about it.
Yeah.
That was the issue. My mindset was all wrong, and
Mm.
as soon as I tell them that, I cannot tell you how many seniors and juniors in front of people they don't know. They're other athletes from other schools, and they'll just say, I'm in my senior year. And they'll get emotional. They'll be like, my whole college experience did not go the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
I did not reach the level of success that I wanted. And I'm the captain of the team. So I'm not allowed to sulk. I don't have
Yeah.
the space to be sad or upset about it. I have to pour into other people. And it's
Yeah.
frustrating me. And I don't value myself anymore as a result. And it's sad to hear.
Yeah. But that's
But
got to be liberating for them to be able to talk about it.
let's talk about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, yep, sounds normal.
Now, do you do, once that happens as in a group setting, do you end up going to, okay, now let's break it down in one-on-one or no?
They come to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I started doing was I'm opening my calendar for 5 people to sign up.
Okay.
It signs up quick. Like they just sign
Yeah.
up right away. And when we get on the phone, I mean, the stuff we're talking about is them being high achievers.
Yeah.
It's always a high achiever reaching out first. The high achiever trying to solve something new
Yeah.
when it's like, let's talk about everything that you accomplished first. Let's pause for 1 second.
Yeah.
What did you get done last semester? And it'll be a long list.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I actually don't want to talk about solving your problem. Let's just sit here for a while. And they're very uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about myself. Well, we're doing it. And it's like, you're
It
not
sounds like
actually,
you're talking to yourself,
I am.
right?
I
High
am.
achievers who don't want to talk about themselves.
High achievers who don't want to talk about themselves and want to move on to the next, the next, the next, the next, the next. And they are miserable. but
Yeah.
they are so amazing and they
Yeah.
don't know it.
So
And I'm excited for them, you
yeah.
know?
And I'm wondering, do they have a lot of people in their lives who are excited for them,
Yeah,
or are they just people who admire them because they're athletes?
both,
Yeah.
both. And there's some resentment there because once you're not performing the same way, you resent it now.
Yeah. Oh
I don't
yeah.
want you to talk to me about my sport. I'm not even doing it the way I need to be doing it. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's all you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They do have supporters, but they don't see them.
Yeah.
They they take them for granted because they're so caught up in what's not going well.
Yeah.
And they have to
Mm.
move past it. They have to use it. I'm like, yeah, let's use that. Let's use it. Write it down. What's everything
Yeah.
that's pissing you off right now about your senior season? Let's write it down. This
Yeah.
one, this one, this one.
Do you get them to journal a lot?
I try to just get them to put stuff on paper
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
visually. But my book will have a lot of space for them to journal because I prompt them with questions
Yeah.
because I want them to actually stop and think. Don't just read my story and keep going and try to figure out what I did next. I want you to stop and be like, is there ever a time that you put your foot in your mouth and it didn't work out for you?
Yeah.
What did you do next?
Mm.
Like, let's get into it. Let's have the uncomfortable. I want kids to get comfortable sitting in discomfort
Yeah.
because you have to be comfortable with you. Most of the time, they're running from themselves.
Yeah.
They don't like something about themselves. And so they're just getting involved here, getting involved there, because if they were to sit in silence, it would all come crashing down.
Yeah. Mm.
So it took me a while to get there. And now I love solo travel. I love it. But I
Cool.
think the expectation fell off my shoulders. I don't have those kind of expectations anymore.
So what is progress? How do you feel about progress over perfection?
Jeff, I struggle with that, obviously,
Yeah.
but I taught it a lot.
Right.
So I am usually teaching people things that I'm not great at, and it helps me deal with my own nonsense. So I am a perfectionist, not by my own saying, but people have told me this. And I talked about progress over perfection a lot with my students' parents when I was teaching. A lot of high stakes testing. We tested all year round, and we sent a lot of information back home. We sent a lot of test scores and exit tickets and worksheets and everything, quizzes. We sent it all home.
Hmm.
And I would tell my parents at the beginning of the year, and I would have to bring them in sometimes. And I would say, listen here, this is how this is going to go. I'm going to assess your kids. As you all know, I'm going to assess them all year round. Your kids are not going to do well every single time.
Yeah.
If they're having a bad day because you yelled at them that morning, it's not going to go well. If they didn't do well in their game last week, it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
If they are not motivated that day, it's not going to go well. I'm not tracking that. I'm tracking their progress.
Yeah.
So I'm not always going to send you their score. What I'm going to send you is their progress. And that was so much better. It brought the tension in the room down
Yeah.
because I can tell the parent what to do. But if I give you the score, you're going to go home and yell at your kid anyway.
Right.
And now you're teaching them to be perfect. And that's
Yeah.
not what we need. I would only send, oh my God, look, Jalen
Look
excelled
how far they've come.
by 8%. He got
Yeah.
8 more things right.
Yeah.
They got
That's
12
great.
more things right. And I would have the kids FaceTime their parents. Yeah, you still got like a D, but it ain't an F.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know 5 more things, don't we?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's what I celebrated in the classroom. I did not celebrate the top performers, especially because your top performers, what else can they do?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to celebrate progress because I want them to focus on that.
Right. Well, how about collaboration? Would you get the kids to share a lot with each other as in their progress? And even though one was better than the other, they kind of looked at each other as they all grew together.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
like healthy competition,
Yeah.
but there was definitely I think the progress piece really brought kids together more than anything else, because it didn't matter if you were at the bottom or the top. We wanted to celebrate somebody getting better.
Yeah.
And I would create a system where we had, like, everyone had 100% marble jar in their classrooms. It was like what you would use the first few weeks of school to get routines down. Okay, 100% of the room sat down before the timer went off without talking. Marbles, right? Now the marbles towards the middle of the year become about progress. If everybody can show progress, or if 80% of the room can show progress, I'll drop 20 marbles. Now they're working not to be perfect, but to get 2 or 3 or 4 more things right. And that was also like the best strategy for a test too. Don't get hung up on the thing that you don't know. You don't know it, you don't know it. I don't know it today, XX. But I know this. And so not only do I know it, but I better get it right.
Yeah.
I better not get it wrong because of some error, because I'm rushing to get back to this thing. No, 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 no. We get the things right that we know.
Yeah.
And we worry about the stuff we don't know later. Were they competitive? I mean, probably, because I'm competitive and everything was a competition.
So how about ownership? How do you drive the athletes, the kids, the students to truly take ownership in their own growth?
Yeah. Let them talk, make them talk.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first lessons I had to learn as a teacher. I tell this to every teacher I come across. My principal, who did not play, would walk by your classroom and she would just come in and observe. She didn't care. Which is what you should do. Inspect what you expect, right?
Yep.
One day she walked by my room and looked in, and I looked up while I was teaching, and she walked by. She just didn't say anything. Then she came back. She looked in, and I looked at her, and I was like, what's going on? I kept teaching. Then she came back a third time, and she said, Miss Hunter, let me talk to you. I said, everybody, hold on, stay on the rug. Actually do a turn to talk and chat. I'll be right back. And I go, what's going on? What's going on, Danique? She said, why every time I walk by your room, you're talking? And the face that you make is the face.
Like, aren't you supposed to be talking?
Because I'm teaching.
Yeah.
And she said, how can you be teaching when you're the only person talking? You won't know what your kids know until they take the test. And by then it's too late. And I was like, damn.
That's big.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yikes. And at that time too, my kids really weren't performing anyway, because I'm trying to get you to understand. I'm trying to get you to understand. I'm talking. Yeah. And then I started to roll it back. I made them explain themselves. Answer this question. And instead of saying right, I'd be like, what do you think about that? And I forced them to explain it to each other. And she was right, because they listened to each other more. So then I took it forward to when they got in trouble. When they get in trouble and you bring your parent in, right? What does a parent do? Well, a parent that respects the teacher is going to look at their kid and be like, tighten up, right? I didn't deal with parents blaming me. I never had that issue because I don't play that. But it would always be the same thing. I would ask a question to the kid and the parent would start talking. They would almost start answering. So I'd say, Jalen, why did you do that? Yeah, why did you do that? Because, the last time, and here's what you need to start doing. And didn't I tell you to stop coming to school to do it? And I would say, Mom,
zip it.
We got to let them answer the question.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk until an answer comes out. And we had to sit for about 45, 55 uncomfortable seconds before anything came out. Adults don't like silence.
No.
So they fill it.
Yep.
And especially when sometimes you're trying to defend your child, you explain it for them. And I would see so many parents, when the child was in trouble, the parent that wanted to defend them, they would answer the question, well, you did it because you were scared, right? Ma'am, enough with the word bank.
Yeah.
Stop giving options.
Yeah.
And I have to coach my parents. We're going to ask a question and you and I are not going to talk. And then when he's done talking, I'm going to ask the next question. You're not going to talk. You're just going to listen and absorb.
Yeah.
And that's how you get them to show ownership, because they have to talk. We can't talk at them.
Yeah, that's great. That's a big epiphany from you from the principal it was. Whew, that was a good one. You
Danique
know?
don't play.
Yeah.
She does not play. She's still working in education now in Brooklyn. She's a
Yeah. All
managing
right.
director of a charter school out there. She mm-mm.
All right. So where are you going? Where's this business going? If you can paint the picture 2, 3 years from now, what's it looking like? What are you doing? What's happening?
So imagine this. Behind me is a big screen,
Yeah.
and it's chartreuse and blues and pinks and purples, and I'm in a dope pantsuit. And I'm like, and the whole audience is like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I want. It's over with. A talk and then go home.
All right. So where's
That's
that talk going to be?
Australia,
All right.
Taiwan,
Who
Africa.
who you talking to?
First kids,
Yep.
but adults usually come to me because they need to hear the same message.
Yeah.
They need the same message. I'm targeting kids, and adults
Yeah.
always find me because they're
Yeah.
like, I needed to hear that message today.
Yeah. Because adults are just big kids,
They are.
you know?
They are. And guess who I prefer working with?
The kids.
Kids.
Yeah. So you're still a very young woman. You got a long way in front of you, long runway of accomplishments to do. But there's going to come a time, I asked everybody this question. There's going to come a time when people are going to look back and say, Britt Hunter, hmm. When they do, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Like, how do you want to be remembered?
Let's see. I'm just a risk taker.
Okay.
I'm a risk taker. I'm not going to jump out of a plane or
Yeah.
bungee jump, but I I really am committed to we are here one time. I am deeply committed to it. I am not going to let the fear of things hold me back anymore. I did that for 5 or 6 years in college, and it was exhausting.
Yeah.
I am not going to let limiting beliefs keep me from going after something. I learned what that did to my students,
Yeah.
right? I'm here one time. And I don't know who your listeners are, but balls to the walls. If that can be on my headstone,
Well, just make sure it's in your will to put it on your headstone.
balls to
To
with
the
the number
walls.
two, the walls. That's it.
That's it. That's
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 it.
that's that is a cool headstone, I'll tell you that. You know? So
I just posted something that said, I'm gonna start journaling fake entries in my diary so my loved ones look back and go, wait, what? Like I want you to look back. I want my funeral to not be silent.
yeah.
Okay. I need everybody to just share the craziest story because everybody seems to have one
Yep.
about the first time they met me. I was apparently crazy and rude, or I just said something wild. Yeah, let's keep that same energy. Let's keep that
All
same
right.
energy. I hope to die and everybody have a funny story to
All
share.
right. Well, I hope that doesn't happen for a really long time. You
But it's
know?
happening, Jeff. We're all on our way.
We're all gonna get there, but hopefully it's a lot longer. You know? It's not it's more later than sooner.
Yeah,
So Britt, we covered a ton of stuff.
we did.
Coming out of high school, going into college, injuries, teaching, coaching, corporate world. Now the impact you're making on all these young people today and the fun you're having. Is there anything that we haven't touched on you think we should hit before we wrap it up?
Probably.
Anything come to mind?
Um, yeah, I think so one, I have a podcast and it's called Thanks But No One Asked You.
Okay.
And it's where storytelling meets unsolicited advice. And I do both very well. Great storyteller and love to tell you what to do. even though you didn't
Okay.
ask me. And I am hoping to have 14 through 24-year-olds on my podcast next year.
Okay.
I think I'm a very big proponent of like you got to build for the community with the community.
Yeah.
And so all of 2025 during my first, I started the podcast like June, July. It's been everybody my age or older working with students, talking about them. And it's like, why are we talking about them? Why don't we just talk to them?
To them.
Shouldn't we have them on our shows? Why are we
Mhm.
talking around them? So I want 2026 to be a ton of students. They don't even have to be student athletes. I want them to set the record straight about stuff.
Yeah. Let
I
them
want
tell their
them
story.
tell your story.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you questions and be like, is that a good idea?
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of people listening. How can they get a hold of you to get on that show?
absolutely. So the email for that is thanks, but no one asked you at gmail.com. So
Okay.
email me there. And that is where you'll get an automated message. And I will reach out and say, hey, let's pick a date, let's pick a time, and let's roll with it. You can also find me on LinkedIn, which is where I'm trolling and looking for most of my students. And my handle on Instagram is at Coach B Hunt _.
Cool. Well, I'm hoping once this goes live that your communication channels are blowing up.
They better be.
They
I want to
will.
hear from the people, the young people.
We're going to make that happen.
Great.
Well, Britt, listen, thank you for being on the show. You know,
Yeah.
your story is amazing. The impact you're having on people's lives is the ripple effect is going to be incredible, and I can't wait to see all the things that you continue to do and how you inspire other people to be great.
Thank you. It's been fun and I appreciate you having me on
Yeah.
here. By the way, I want to set the record straight for y'all. Um, I, I did you want to tell the story of how we met?
Uh, you could tell them if you want.
Jeff doesn't remember. So I saw Jeff posting on LinkedIn
Yeah.
and he was posting, and I got this guest and I got this guest and I started scrolling back and I said, all these guests are men.
Yeah. You're like, what about me?
What are we doing here? And I slid right into those DMs and said, tap, 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 tap. Hi there.
Yeah.
My story's cooler and I'm a female. What's going on?
Yeah.
And here we are. So to all my women out there, to all my women, okay, I was not always this spicy. So I get it. You may be a little bit like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
When you get to that point of being comfortable, be sure to respectfully reach out and tell people like, hey, you should give me a shot.
Yeah.
And it 9 times out of 10 turns out like this. And so I
Yeah.
really appreciate you for one, taking me seriously and bringing me on your show.
Well, I am happy to have you. And again, it's a joy to have someone like you come on and just your story. It's just fun. It's fun to listen to. You're fun to be around, and I can see why all your students like working with you.
Thank you.
You
Dear.
know? Yeah. So as I always say when I wrap it up to everybody, stay strong.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.